Smack dab in the middle of 2020, we are excited to have in the house for an unboxing the new HP X360 14C, the successor to the very popular X360 14. So let's just jump in the box and see what's in here. All right, so we grabbed this at Best Buy. The retail price on it is $629 for right now. We actually got it for $100 off. You can get a student discount on it currently. And if this one's anything like the HP X360 14 that came before it, it's gonna be on sale like all the time. So we're kind of hoping that's the case, because honestly, it's $630. Before even messing with this device, I can tell you it faces some pretty stiff competition in things like the Flex 5 from Lenovo and the very excellent 713, the Spin 713 from Acer. Both of those devices compete heavily on features and price, and the 713, for instance, is the exact same price MSRP as this one. And just looking at a spec sheet alone brings some things to the table that the HP doesn't have. But that's to say nothing of the way this thing feels, the fit, the finish, all that kind of stuff. So we got to figure all that stuff out, obviously. This is pretty general, standard Chromebook boxing here. Nothing flashy. The charger, it's going to be a two-piece, which I'm not against, because honestly having the huge block in the wall sometimes is kind of awkward to get plugged in. So it is nice to have the basic extension. So yeah, there's nothing special going on here. Obviously USB-C power brick. But yeah, I'd like to see the extension, but then have kind of the brick that goes, you know, along with that. Paperwork here. Yeah, nothing out of the ordinary here. Nothing different than what we would expect, but you're here for this Chromebook. And I can already tell you, I'm happy to see right up top that new HP logo. And there's just something to be said about the ability to brand yourself with 4 lines. I mean, that's really cool. I think HP needs to put this on like all of their stuff. And the more you sit and stare at it, the more it looks just like lines, but it's kind of ingenious. I really like that. Trying to feel here, definitely an aluminum lid, nice and solid, nice and firm, not that light. Again, for the review, we'll get into all the specifics, but I think this is around 3 pounds. And it feels substantial, we'll say that. Not the thinnest device either, but you know, very attractive looking from the outside. It feels like HP went with a plastic bottom again. It looks very similar to the aluminum on top, but that is almost definitely plastic on the bottom. Nice huge grill across the bottom here for your vents, and some vents across the back too, which tells me it will have a fan, which is good. We don't want to run into those Samsung Galaxy Chromebook overheating issues. Nice hinges around the sides. We've got USB Type-C, micro SD card, headphone microphone, and that kind of new jaw drop thing that HP is doing with their full-size USB ports. This device isn't like crazy thin, so I'm not really sure what the purpose of that mechanic is, but it's kind of cool looking. And then you got power, volume rocker over here. And then you've got this privacy slider, which is really cool. Power button and another USB Type-C port. Obviously, we're gonna have to cut away here in just a second to get it powered on. So yeah, let's do that real quick. Okay, now we're powered up and logged in. I can tell you the hinge feels nice and firm. You've got upward firing speakers, a nice wide glass trackpad, and very minimal bezels. Let's wake it back up here. So super minimal bezels, especially on the 3 sides, and even the bottom side is pretty minimal here. A lot of times we get these 16:9 Chromebooks that have this huge chunk bezel on the bottom. So it's nice to see HP kind of minimizing that a little bit. There's this nice tapered, rounded off thing going on here on the top. That's really nice. You've got a fingerprint scanner, obviously, that will work after it's all set up and everything. But more importantly, very quiet on the keys, and man, they feel really nice. Really nice click. It's just becoming a normal thing, I think, with Chromebooks. We're just getting these great keyboards one after the other. It is backlit, obviously, and HP has made great keyboards on their Chromebooks for a few years now, so I wasn't expecting anything less, but yeah, that feels really nice. And nice glass trackpad, very satisfying click. So everything feels really good there. And it feels like this is an aluminum upper. So we've got an aluminum lid, nice and firm, aluminum bottom piece here. Not a lot of flex to the chassis, which is nice. B&O speakers, you know, we'll get into those for the review. Don't expect too much, but it is nice that they're upward firing. So regardless of how good or bad speakers are, anytime they fire upwards, it's always kind of a win there. Let's see how the tablet mode feels like. That hinge is super sturdy. That feels really good. Slight magnet there on the enclosure, so when it's in tablet mode, if you're going to use a 14-inch device in tablet mode that often, it does that pretty well. Kind of a strange offset, if you can see the way that that hinge offsets. That's just weird. I've not seen that before. So again, none of these devices are ever built with tablet mode as the first priority. It's just kind of a secondary thing. So take that for what it is. But yeah, the keyboard feels great. The backlighting doesn't bleed all over the place, and everything feels nice and solid, well built, and premium. And I think that's the takeaway here. I mean, at 600 bucks, you need a device to feel premium. And you know, this one is going to be coming in just a single configuration from what we know. Core i3, 8 gigs of RAM, so that's a 10th gen Core i3, 8 gigs of RAM, and 64 gigs of internal storage, obviously expandable via SD card slot. So you're not going to be able to bump up to an i5 or 16 gigs of RAM. I do wish they would have put 128 gigs of storage in here though, especially at that $630 price point. But I think the way this thing is going to compete is A, it's going to go on sale a lot. That would be my guess. And then B, it does have a little bit better fit and finish. I can just tell you already out of the box over some of the competitors. So when you compare it to like the Lenovo Flex 5 or the Acer Spin 713, like, I don't know, this thing just feels a little more put together. Just, I don't know, thoughtfully designed possibly. But yeah, it's very nice. Obviously, I'm going to have to use it over the next, couple weeks and give you all some thoughts and a full review on it. Because again, stiff competition at this point in 2020 that honestly I just didn't see coming. But I know part of that is because of things like the Flex 5. But we're getting these great Chromebooks with great features coming down in price. And so you can't throw something out there with 64 gigs of internal storage, even if everything else is nice about it, and expect people to jump on it when there are other options that have just as many features and maybe more features and better internal specs at the same price point. One last thing I will say, it does look like the screen, I think that HP rated it at 250 nits. It looks good. Not crazy bright. I would say 250 is about as much as you're going to get there, so it's probably not blowing the shot out, I wouldn't think. So I mean, bright enough. 250 nits is usable, and it's going to be workable in most environments. But in a bright environment, you're going to notice a 250 nit screen comes down in some of its brightness compared to things around it. And so keep that in mind. There are other screens out there at a similar price point that are much brighter. I mean, that's just kind of the nature of the beast there. But I can say colors look awesome. The small bezels look awesome on it. And a 14-inch diagonal measure. It's a 1080p screen, so 1920 by 1080. I mean, it's got a great pixel density. The colors look really good. The whites look nice. So it's not a bad display by any stretch of the imagination. I just think there are other competitors out there. So anyway, I've got to form all my opinions about this thing. I need to use it for a little bit. Like I told you, I can tell you right now already that it just feels great in the hand and it looks great. I mean, it is just a strikingly pretty device. And so I'm excited to get, some more time in with it and get back to you guys with a full review. But that's it for this one. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Go down there and hit that subscribe button. Make sure and hit the notification bell as well if you'd like to be alerted when we make future videos just like this one. And don't forget to hit the join button if you'd like to see the cool stuff our members get, like behind the scenes footage and custom emoji. Till next time, we'll see you.